What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about Randall and the end of Season 3, Episode 4. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you don't watch this video because about to get some spoilers. If you have seen it, then stick around. If you haven't, go watch it, come back, and then let's talk about it. So, diving right into it. Randall finally comes to the good side, right? Randall is hanging out with Boyd on the bus. They're trying to, figure out these monsters so that way they can set the trap, right? And Randall is ready to be a team player. Boyd, talks to him and goes, "Oh, finally, now you want to do that?" And he talks about how, essentially scared, right? Like what he saw, what he went through when he was dealing with the music box curse, and him and as well as Marielle and Julie. You see all of them kind of dealing with the aftermath of this and just the mental toll that it's taking on them. And Randall ends up, saying like, "Hey, there's worse things than death. So if I can do something to help us all get out of here, like, let's do it. Sign me up." And he ends up helping Boyd. Ambulance shows up, right? They go run out, and Boyd ends up having a decision to make. And Boyd makes the decision to leave Randall behind and save the people in the ambulance. Now, it wasn't just anybody, right? It was Tabitha, it was Jim, it was Officer Acosta, who is the female officer that we'll get some more details on, right? Like, there was purpose. And this was further trying to break Boyd, right? They gave Boyd the ultimatum. And look, Boyd made the right decision. He's going to have to deal with it. He's going to have to live with it. He is going to have to try to adjust whatever he has to do to get past him leaving Randall behind. But it was the right decision because you're dead to rights. You're surrounded by these monsters. You can't find the keys. The monster has the keys. If you say no, right, what are they going to do? They're going to kill you, everybody in the ambulance, and they're still going to kill Randall. So everybody dies. So what do? Well, you go and you basically give Randall to them and you drive off. And, the big wrench in everything was Tabitha being handcuffed. If Tabitha wasn't handcuffed, these things walk so slow, they could have all just ran, right? Like, they could have just, "Hey, let's go." But her being handcuffed, they're sitting ducks. What are they do? They can't just leave Tabitha there. And they can't push the ambulance, right? Like, so they don't really have a choice, right? Boyd has to make a decision in that moment. And the decision is to let them kill Randall. And then we get to the end, and lo and behold, they didn't kill Randall, right? Now, I do believe, and look, I can be completely wrong. This is just my thoughts. I do believe that he will die in the next episode. I do believe that he'll succumb to his wounds. I know he woke up and was alive in the moment that we saw at the end on top of the ambulance. However, I think that this is about breaking Boyd, right? This is about getting into Boyd's mental, getting into his psyche, and really breaking him. This entire season has been based on that. This entire season has been based on breaking Boyd down, right? Boyd, from TN in the barn to now this, it's not a coincidence that Boyd goes to Colony House, ends up expressing his guilt and how he just left Randall behind and didn't even try to save him, nothing. And moments later, Randall's on top of the ambulance and he's alive. He's tore up. He's missing part of his face. Like, he's not in great shape whatsoever. But he's alive, I believe, to go, "Hey, let him die in your hands." That way now you really have to soak in it. Now you really have to dwell and think about your decisions, right? Like, we could have just killed him, got it over with, been done. But no, we wanted him to torture. We wanted him to go slowly. We wanted you to see him We wanted you to feel that and deal with that and have to look at him while he's dying. That's why I think he's going to die. I think it's the monsters. They don't want to kill him and then Boyd find the body. Like, yes, Boyd's going to have that guilt. He's going to have those things. But if you have to sit there and you have to listen to Randall, you have to watch him die, you have to hear Randall, why did you do this to me? Like, why? Like, why didn't you try to help me? Right? Like, Randall finally did the right thing. Randall finally went to the good side. He's been an a-hole this entire time. This entire process has just been nothing but a pain in the behind, right? Like, he's been a nightmare. And finally, he wants to help. Finally, he's bought into the Boyd philosophy. And the moment he does, it's like, well, this is why you don't, right? This is why I shouldn't have. This is why I should have stayed the way that I stayed. And also, if you're Boyd, right, like, he gave you some interesting information that he probably had more of that you probably need, right? Like, because, like he talked about, like, when they were sitting on the bus, right? Like, the patterns. He's freaking out, and Boyd's like, why are you freaking out? And he's like, dude, like, the one sits here and taps on the glass for 10 minutes every single night, nonstop, and just smiles, just tapping on the glass. The other one is standing over by the pool, right? Like, he talks and breaks down all of their details. And he says, like, we don't have TV. You guys get to shut the blinds. I'm here as a sitting duck. All I have to do is watch them. All I have is to just sit here night in and night out and learn all their little details and learn everything about them, right? Like, that's important information that Boyd can need, especially if he really does eventually plan on capturing a monster, which, curious if that ever happens, right? Because, like, obviously I'm sure it's still on his mind. I'm sure he still would like to do it, but it's just like, he can't catch a break. He can't get a minute. Right? Like, it's just like nonstop, like something's happening. Boom, boom, boom. And now Tabitha's back, and you got to imagine that they're going to be dealing with the aftermath of Tabitha being there and the townspeople and all that stuff. Like, it's not going to be a simple just experience now that she's back, right? It really throws a wrench into things again. And now Boyd, right? Like, he's got to deal with the guilt of Tia, and he's got to deal with the guilt of Randall now. Right? This place just keeps throwing the guilt trip at him, keeps making him make decisions, making him watch, right? Be in this helpless state where it's just like there's nothing you can do, like, right? Like, you couldn't help Tien, you couldn't help Randall, right? You made a decision. You even left him. He wanted to help you. He was there to help you, right? This place listens. This place knows everything. I mean, there have been numerous times now where this place is heard and relayed or acted based on conversations that others had. Right? Like, they made the decision for Randall. You think that Boyd and Randall have a conversation. Randall relays and confides into Boyd his issues and just his mental state, and finally joins the good side to Boyd. And then they say that they didn't say like, oh, we want the cop, or we want Tabitha, or we want Jim, right? Like, hey, give us Jim and we'll everyone can live. Give us Tabitha because she escaped and came back, and that's a no-no, right? Like, give us her. Hey, we don't even want any of your main guys. We want the cop. Right? Give us the cop. Right? Like, no, they said that they wanted Randall, who was helping, and just moments before talking and confiding to Boyd. Right? Like, again, I don't think that that's coincidence. And then you add in Boyd talking to Donna about his guilt and how much how much it bothers him that he just left. He didn't even try, he just left. Right? Which, again, he made the right decision. That was the right call. And that's probably how he's going to justify it. It's like, I had to let Randall die so I could save these other, the other three, including myself, right? Like, or other four, Henry too, right? Because Henry is there, right? So you're talking, it's like, Do I let all 4 die? And then myself, if they even kill me, they probably just hold me down and watch as they kill all these people. Or do I let Randall die and drive away and I don't have to see it, I don't have to deal with it, and then expresses the guilt, and then boom, Randall shows up again, right? Like, again, how many coincidences happen before it's not coincidence that this was part of the plan? Okay, we hear you. You and Randall coming buddies. You guys hanging out together, trying to learn our patterns. It's adorable. We love it. Tell you what, now we're going to kill Randall. Oh, you're feeling guilty? As you should. That sucks. Man, we feel it. That's rough. Here you go. Here's Randall back. Right? Now talk to him. Feel that guilt. Now, there is the argument to keep Randall alive because, imagine that conversation, imagine that dialogue, imagine how Randall would be after that attack, right? Would Randall's, you got to imagine, is not going to be all sunshine. He wasn't sunshines and rainbows before. He's not going to be sunshine and rainbow now, right? And he's probably going to hate Boyd more than he's ever hated Boyd at this point, right? So it's not a good look across the board. But I think it's not so much about breaking, because Boyd can just kind of avoid him. Boyd can kind of stay away, depending on how messed up Randall is. Randall might not even be able to move around and do stuff. He was pretty tore up, right? He's missing part of his face. Pretty bad, right? I got to be careful how I describe it because, it's YouTube. But, it wasn't just this, oh, he got a little cut, little scratch. And it's now you have to deal with, leaving him. And it's hey, buddy, you're alive. I knew you'd make it, right? No, now you got to deal with I just think dealing with the guilt of him dying, and you have to see him die, just like Tien, because he just drove away. He left. Well, you don't get to see the death. You don't get to see your dirty work. You made a decision, right? Decision led to his death. We're not going to kill him without you watching. But I just think that is what this place is trying to do. They want Boyd to see. They want to break Boyd. You care about this? Watch, dead. You care about this? Okay, watch, dead. Oh, you're starting to build a relationship there? Okay, dead. Right? That's how you're breaking down Boyd. Right? Boyd wants to save everybody. They even say, you can't save everybody. Well, you can't save everybody, Boyd, right? That's what they're trying to get across. And what's the best way to kind of continue that point? Yeah, make sure the guy's dead, but Boyd gets to see it. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? Are you kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So if you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.